members, staff of the university, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. To members of the university, a ceremony for the presentation of awards is a particularly important and happy occasion. To all of you, I extend a warm welcome. To graduates, I offer congratulations and best wishes for the future. The university's mission commits it to achieving international excellence in education and research. It is also committed to work through partnerships, regional, national and global enrichment. The university's record of achievement, particularly in research, is outstanding. The university currently ranks 9th out of 37 public universities in Australia in terms of its research income, which approximates to $25 million each year. The total funding devoted to research, research scholarships and research infrastructure each year at this university exceeds $36 million. The Australian Research Council is one of the peak grant bodies in Australia. For ARC grants commencing in 1999, the university had the highest success rate of all the Australian universities in the competitive bidding for research funds. I think you'll agree it's a good performance. The university has 15 research centres and institutes, over 50 research programs of international repute, and over 950 research masters and Doctor of Philosophy candidates. It is an excellent performance across all faculties and reflects the quality of the research being conducted. These are also significant. Research feeds into teaching, which at the University of Newcastle reflects cutting-edge technology. Education today is about the acquisition of lifelong learning skills. I believe that our graduates will, in the future, make significant contributions in the local, national, and in the case of some, the international community. I take this opportunity to remind those receiving their test statements today that as graduates of the university, you automatically become members of convocation. Thus, you join more than 45,000 other graduates and have an opportunity through elected representatives to become involved in the governance and development of your university. I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Education to present graduates from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Education, Early Childhood, Rebecca Deeg. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Education, English, Gillian Elliott. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Teaching, Bachelor of Music, David Saxon. Alexandra Sweeney. Cheryl Walker. Kylie Wilmot. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Teaching, Bachelor of Science, Monique Barnes. Gavin Carter. Peter Urbacher. James Osterman. Karen Paulson. Rebecca Tompkins. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Teaching, Bachelor of Science, with Honours Class 2, Division 1, Leanne Doggett. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Teaching, Bachelor of Social Science, Melinda Aarons. Monica Bates. Emily Briggs. Maxine Britton. Natasha Buckland. Belinda Casson. Claire Charsley. Kristen Coker. Barry Davis. Cindy Gardner. Renata Louise Gilmore. Magella Hobden. Loren Johnston. Debbie Jones. Lisa Klink. Yes. Jennifer Myers. Brian Morrison. Kylie Morrison. Amber Mully. Jodie Pratton. Angela Richardson. Melissa Rossi. Kylie Sansom. Helen Seabrook. Megan Turnbull. Amanda Walsh. Suzanne Warren. Lara Wilson. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Teaching, Bachelor of Social Science, with honours Class 2, Division 2, Karina Brook. Grant. Tianne Grant. Amanda Maney. Chelsea McEwen. Dana Perham. Nicole Predatic. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Teaching, Bachelor of Social Science, with honours Class 2, Division 1, Prudence Dixon. Rachel Forsyth. Alison Weimer. Chancellor, I present to you candidates who have satisfied the requirements of the award of the Graduate Certificate in Educational Studies. Victoria Coughlin. Gail Evans. Robin Mead. Mark Skennerton. Chancellor, I present to you candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Education Secondary. Leah Barry. Mark Bonelli. Adam Bruckshaw. Kerry-Ann Dover. Simon Elliott. Peter Hallekas. Timothy Ham. Nicole Jones. Tina Maiolo. Vanessa McPhee. Derek Pickering. Ingrid Seck. Pamela Steinbeck. Mark Yabsley. Chancellor, I present to you candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Education Secondary with Merit. Melanie Ballard. Jane Byrne. Tina Campbell. Sarah Cooper. Paula Finlay. Matthew Heaney. Andrew Lord. Kathleen Moore. Kelly Shepherd. Chancellor, I present to you candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Graduate Diploma in Educational Studies, Special Education, Andrea Connell. Barbara Doherty. Marmy Walker. Jacqueline Watsford. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Early Childhood Education, Jin M. Clifton. Annette Pordage. Coralie Van Kutrick. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Educational Studies, Neville Clement. Stephen Deering. Diane Gamage. Paul Halbish Rayner. Catherine Holmes. Lynn Marini. Helen McNally. Raymond Murray. John Naught. Philip Petrie. Cameron Wallace. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Leadership and Management in Education, Catherine Allen. Judy Collier. Susan Johnson. John Skian. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Special Education, Karen Andrews. Deborah Borlow Little. Kerry Carter. Judith Christensen Foggett. John Fisher. Karen Fraser. Peter Gurrier Jones. Suzanne Hiley. Susan Hinten. Simone Hughes. Georgina Knight. Robin Lyon. Paul Munro. Robert Shooten. Orapin Siriag. Sasapin Songsat. Philip von Schonberg. Rebecca Wilkinson. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Special Education, Sensory Disability, Jill Berrigan. Kylie Bernard. Michael Dawson. Ruth Hutchinson. Helen Keith. Kenneth Knipe. Victoria McDonnell. Alison Stephen. Cheryl Trudgeon. Kelly Vos. Chancellor, I present to you an international student undertaking the degree of Master of Education, Sensory Disability at Renwick College. Cecilia Temple will be returning to Canada at the end of this semester and will be unable to participate with the rest of her cohort at the Semester 2 graduation ceremony. Chancellor, Cecilia Temple. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Education.
I call on the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Research to present Research Higher Degree graduates.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates to the degree of Master of Education. I present to you Elva Fitzgibbon, Master of Early Childhood Education of this university. Congratulations. I don't read it. Yes, that's what you read. I present to you Alison Minette, Bachelor of Education with Honours of this university. For the Master of Education. Chancellor, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to a graduate who has successfully completed a prescribed program of study, principally of research. A thesis embodying the outcomes of the research is the principal basis of examination. The degree is only awarded if the thesis makes a significant and original contribution to knowledge and understanding of the field of knowledge with which it is concerned. Today, the university is proud to honour Doctor of Philosophy graduates who have satisfied these rigorous criteria for the award of the degree. Chancellor, I present to you Deborah Hayes, Master of Arts of Macquarie University. Dr. Hayes' thesis is entitled Provisional Discourses, a genealogical reconceptualisation of the shift from differential to equitable provision in Australian education discourses since the 1970s. Chancellor, Dr. Hayes. Chancellor, I present to you Robert McAlpin, Master of Arts of Macquarie University. Dr. McAlpin's thesis is entitled Depression, Anxiety and Coping Behaviours as Correlates of Stress, a study of senior secondary students. Chancellor, Dr. McAlpin. Chancellor, I present to you Julie Christine Hine McLeod, Master of Education of Deakin University. Dr. Hine McLeod's thesis is entitled Beginning to Teach, Explorations of Context Through Lived Experience. Chancellor, Dr. McLeod. Chancellor, I present to you Graham Perry, Master of Science of the University of Tasmania. Dr. Perry's thesis is entitled Visions of the Future, a study of Hunter Region High School students' perception of the future. Chancellor, Dr. Perry. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of Research Higher Degree graduates.
We will now have a musical interlude presented by the University of Newcastle Choir. They will sing Siamba.
Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. Gregor Ramsay to deliver the occasional address. Dr. Ramsay has been involved in the school, vocational and higher education sectors as a teacher, researcher and administrator. His roles have included Chair of the Commonwealth Higher Education Council and the Managing Director of the New South Wales TAFE Commission. He is currently undertaking a major and comprehensive review of teacher education for the New South Wales Government. The focus of the review is on the quality of teachers and the sustainability of university teacher education courses to achieve that goal. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Gregor Ramsay.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of the Council of the University, staff of the University, family and friends of the graduates, and most importantly, the graduates themselves and our next generation that's watching from the crying room. I just want to add my congratulations and welcome those of you who are brand new at it, and also to compliment those of you who have added to your qualifications. A welcome to that great profession of teaching. My father was a teacher. I was a teacher for 10 years. I have a daughter who is a teacher who's just become a teacher of teachers. And we're very proud in our family that we have these links from one to the other in this very important area. I must say, Chancellor, I'm delighted to have been invited. It just shows, I think, how long ago the mergers were in higher education, because I think for some time after the mergers, it's unlikely that I'd have been invited back, because I was very heavily involved in endeavouring to put the college together with the university. I'm delighted with the way it's turned out. I haven't been back, apart from more recent times in relationship to the review, to not even hear it mentioned and to see the strength that there is in this Faculty of Education, shown by not only the number of graduates and the number of master's students, but the quality of the work that's been done by the research students. And I must say I'm delighted to see that in the thesis titles of all of the, not all, but at least two of the PhD graduates, there's a colon. The fact that you've got a colon in there has been researched to show that you will have many more chances of your work being cited. That's very important, as you know, if you're looking for a job. I don't know how many readers of poetry there are among you, but I'm sure there were some who had some at school and have perhaps kept a love of it throughout life. Many of you know the poem by Robert Frost called The Road Not Taken. Frost begins his poem describing a journey through a wood in autumn, the yellow wood as he describes it. Not something that we're terribly familiar with, that is the yellow part of it, in some parts of this country. But he came to a fork in the road and is faced with a choice, to go down that which was more frequented or to choose the other. And he concludes with the lines, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference." Society, like individuals, from time to time reach a point where a critical choice has to be made, where one road has to be chosen and another discarded, however familiar it may look. Two examples, I believe, is the whole process of reconciliation that we're going through at the moment, and another, more prosaic perhaps, was the floating of the Australian dollar. Australia will not be the same again after both of those events. And in like fashion, teaching the profession that you're about to join, or the one that you're already immersed in, is at a similar crossroad. Some difficult decisions, we believe, have to be made to decide the road that teacher education needs to take. Do we keep going down the well-travelled road? Can that road meet the demands of the traffic that's on it? Is the way we've done things in the past still suitable to meet the needs of teachers, students and the wider community? And I think we mustn't forget that we're talking about teaching no matter at what level, whether it be university, TAFE school, early childhood, or well outside the formal systems of education. Is the road less travelled and less well identified wide enough for us all to fit? Where will it take us? Will our choice of a road less travelled make the difference about which Frost spoke? The extent of current debate among parents, journalists and employers shows that it is time for a choice to be made, that it is time for teacher education to be reviewed, that it is time to be sure that we have a profession of teaching with appropriate quality built into it. The decisions which universities, employers, schools, unions, teachers and the wider society will make at the beginning of this century will, I believe, determine the future of teaching for the next 25 years and perhaps longer. Those of you that are in the profession know that the malaise that there is in many parts of it, but you also know of the exciting things that can go on when things are going right. The choice, I think, is star. We can keep following the road we have been on for more than a century, or we can, like the poet, set our course for one less travelled by. A less travelled road, of course, means that some at least have passed that way previously, and much of the direction that we need to go in the future has been researched. We do know that teachers make a real difference. We do know that one of the best ways to spend money to improve the outcomes of students is to improve the level of education and pedagogy of teachers. And I'm delighted to see how many of you in this audience today have had your upgrading recognised. The world is changing too rapidly for teacher education and teaching to stay on the road we've travelled now for many years, and I've had interesting discussions with your Vice-Chancellor and Dean on just this matter. Parents are saying already there have been dramatic changes in our employment, why not in yours? And you in this town certainly know about dramatic changes in employment. The signposts and the destinations which were once so certain are no longer so definite. Who would seriously put the view that teachers hold the sum total of knowledge which students need? Who would seriously put the view that your primary role should be to make sure such knowledge is acquired by your students as largely passive participants in the learning process? We all know that they're not empty vessels to be filled. There is no tabula rasa. They are there. The learning is there to be fostered. Who would seriously put the view that the school, a uniquely 19th century response to mass education and the Industrial Revolution, will or should remain the only structure for good teaching and learning in the years ahead? As one of the contributors to the current review of teacher education observed, teaching now is characterised not by certainty as it once was, but by uncertainty. This is the world you're about to enter. Uncertainty is the downside, but opportunity is the upside. And your opportunity will be to remake your profession through the quality of your teachers and of the quality of your teaching. We're entering an age where the knowledge workers will be paramount. We're moving into the knowledge age ahead, and hence knowledge work will be the most important work in the next century. So teaching and those who deal in knowledge will be as important as scientists and engineers were to the Industrial Revolution. Teaching, in my view, will survive and prosper in this age because communicating knowledge is the core business of teaching. However, in this emerging society, no one will concede that teachers are the only knowledge workers, or indeed that you should even be the primary knowledge workers. You will have to demonstrate the value of your role, and this will be done by proving that you do it better than any other providers in the marketplace. And look what some of the communications providers have done to say football or some of these things that we took as a tradition for 50 years suddenly got changed when the experts in communication got hold of it. And if you think a multi-billion-dollar business like education is immune, then and the governments will continue to support it, then have a little look at yesterday's budget. The world is awash with views on what teaching should be like in a knowledge society. I don't know the final shape, and crystal ball gazing at a time when one internet year equals 10 chronological years seems to me to be an act of self-delusion, if not deluding others. dollar. And there are many people out there turning a quick dollar over the whole business of the knowledge society. Nonetheless, I think this can be said with assurance. Successful schools in a knowledge society must be closely integrated into the society they serve. Teachers have to recast themselves as people who make the knowledge journey not only possible, but also exciting and meaningful. The days when teachers could project themselves, as once they did, as the owners of knowledge are disappearing. A self-image incompatible with the microchip and digital communications. I believe we need to listen to the voice of people other than educators. By doing so, we avoid the fatal trap of only hearing ourselves, and that's been a very big problem in education, only to hear ourselves. Some of you may remember Frank Blunt, who was CEO of Telstra and also former CEO of the New American Schools Development Corporation. He commented recently, business has an interest in how effective education institutions are turning out a competent, effective workforce within a well-rounded, creative and confident civil society. The Henry Ford model of isolated individuals perfecting discrete, repetitive tasks is over. Yet that's a bit how teachers are. In a changing, technology-driven world, workers need to be active, creative and capable of continuous adaptation if they're to contribute fully. Successful companies treat all their workers, no matter what their level in the company, as knowledge workers. So that's why your work as a teacher is so important. The Frank Blunt Road is not the road we're now travelling, nor is it yet one well travelled, and yet I believe it's the one we must take if, as teachers, you are to make your mark and to make a difference. You must become a knowledge worker, adaptive and focused on a view of teaching as a collaborative activity, not as an isolated pursuit, largely bounded by four walls of the classroom. I said earlier that schools need to be more integrated into the society they serve. The same applies to university and particularly universities and their teacher training. And in my view, if universities are in teacher training, it needs to be at the very core of their activities, and all of the faculties need to contribute, as is happening at this university with the double degree, to the work of learning, and both the paradigms of knowledge and the pedagogy have to be matters for the whole, or for those the faculty that has that knowledge as its care, in its care and as its responsibility. So, as I say, this university, following my discussions here on a couple of occasions and more recently with the Vice-Chancellor and Dean, they've heard this message and they are taking a leadership role in leading this journey in the years ahead. In fact, I believe that regional universities are uniquely placed to take teacher education in new directions, the road less travelled by. The imperatives for this community to reconstruct itself so that Newcastle prospers in the years ahead are great, but this city and its university has a record, as you know, of tackling the tough issues and coming out on top. I cite as an example, and it's one I've used all over Australia, the absolutely splendid work which this university has done in the initiative with BHP to provide opportunities for employers affected by the closure of the steelworks to enter teaching, to get good, mature people into teaching through a very practical process of teacher education, I believe, is to be supported and used in other contexts. This university work was praised and enthusiastically supported, not only by me, but by a large number of submissions to the review, including one from BHP itself. The less travelled road down which I believe teacher education needs to go in order to achieve the sort of teachers about whom Frank Blunt is speaking is signposted teacher education through school experience, teacher education through professional experience, teacher education, if you like, through clinical experience. For too long, we have thought that what students learned in their teacher education could be practiced in schools, and hence the word practicum. The practicum concept was one born of the idea that you got the theory and learnt what to do in the university or teacher education institution and then went out and tried it. It's not like that. It has to be a much more integrated activity. In the very language we use, we separate the learning from the experience. In today's world, where such boundaries are seen as artificial constructs, this is unsustainable. The professional experience which student teachers have in schools should be the beginning and end of their learning. That the professional experience, the number of times that we had put to us at the review that young teachers did not have sufficient experience to take on the very complex role immediately as they take their first job up in schools. The theoretical component should serve to illuminate the experience, to give it order, sense and relevance. That is good learning, and that is a way to good teaching. If some teacher education researchers have gone down this road less travelled, so have other professions in the universities. And if we could take an example from this University of Medicine, medical schools in universities such as this one are constructed on the clinical experience model, or the case study model, or the problem-solving model of professional preparation, and integrated into the whole business of the health experience. And in my view, teacher education has to shift to being totally integrated into the whole business of the teaching experience. And that's something that you're going to have to contribute to. You will be expected out there in your schools to make a significant contribution to the way the next generation of teachers is to be trained, and I know this university will be listening for what it is you have to say. In my view, if we want a strong, vibrant teacher education program in this state, we have to implement changes. Many of those changes will come from those universities that see what these changes will lead to. Because the teachers for the 21st century will need to have passed down a road that has made a difference, but it's not the road that we necessarily have passed down now. Good luck in your career. You're at an exciting time in the profession itself, and the future for you, though uncertain, is full of promise and opportunity. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ramsey, thank you very much for your address. I think you will all agree with me that the New South Wales Government has certainly placed the review of teacher education in very capable hands. Good luck with it. I now have great pleasure in inviting Dr. Robert McAlpine to speak on behalf of the graduates.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of the University Council, staff of the University, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, and children. Dr. Ramsey, thank you for those words of encouragement about the opportunity available to those of us involved in the education process. It's clearly a great honour for me to speak on behalf of my fellow graduates at this ceremony. But as I look around this evening, I have this strong sense of déjà vu. I began university studies in the early 1970s, when university education was free, and when a hex was something you put on, not something you took off people. Graduated in the 1970s with a bachelor's degree and proceeded in the 1980s to do a master's degree at Macquarie University, and finally the 90s to complete this doctorate. So a large chunk of the last 3 decades I've spent at university, and some of my friends and family have rather unkindly remarked and made some suggestions that this is something to do with obsessive-compulsive behaviour on my part. I think the word they actually used was disorder. And some equally unkind friends also mentioned something to do with spending 3 decades at university must have been related to being a slow learner. But as I look around here tonight, I have this pervading sense of the significance of lifelong continuing education. About 100 years ago, the English novelist H.G. Wells said, "Human history becomes more and more a race between education and catastrophe." And by this I expect he meant that history has shown us that in the struggle against ignorance, education has been a fundamental weapon. In the struggle against disease and poverty, education has been a fundamental weapon, and education remains a significant player in the struggle against injustice and oppression. But, as in the bigger picture, each graduate here tonight has been involved, no doubt, in their own private struggle. I've absolutely no doubt that for each of us there were many times when studying for an exam, preparing an essay, or writing a chapter of a thesis was absolutely the last thing that we wanted to do. And sometimes the temptations won. And it's good that sometimes the temptations won, because as I and my fellow graduates discovered, it's essential not only to be a student, but also to have a life. But this struggle wasn't won alone. And looking around here tonight, I see many of our allies without whom most of us wouldn't be here. I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of my fellow graduates to offer heartfelt and sincere thanks to our partners, to our families, to our friends, not to mention academic staff, and to our supervisors, each of whom have played such an important role in our education. Chancellor, may I address my concluding remarks to my fellow graduates. Fellow graduates, in 1934, a revolution was beginning that would change the course of history. The then General, Mao Zedong, was addressing a small number of his followers, and he said to them, "Comrades, look around you at all the dead wood of China. One single spark can set this forest ablaze." Fellow graduates, we leave this place as educators charged with the responsibility of preparing the next generation to take their place in the world. And we all carry with us that one single spark. Together these sparks can and will ignite many forest fires that'll do serious damage to the dead wood of ignorance, injustice and oppression wherever we find our calling. I wish you well.
Thank you very much, Dr. McAlpine, for your speech. I now declare this ceremony concluded. May I invite all present to join us for a cold drink in the marquee adjoining the Great Hall. The University Union also invites you to make your way afterwards to the Shortland Union building, where Devonshire tea will be served. You will also be able to order photographs, have your testaments framed, and view what there is for sale of university memorabilia in the Union. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us outside for a drink.